for those that don't like haven't been here the last couple days or at least for a while anyway, because I've been talking about this J. Cole album forever. Um, I'm a huge J. Cole fan. Cole's from North Carolina. He's he's here a lot. Like he loves this state, which is cool for me because it's close by and it's like I take a lot of pride in this area and just like I love it. It's not my hometown, but it feels like my hometown. So I'm a huge J. Cole fan, and his album dropped on Friday. We had a listening party for it and stuff like that. And so on Saturday, yesterday, he tweeted out that he had his old Civic that he used to drive around, whip around the city in, and he had CDs in his trunk of the new album. And he was just going to drive around and do what he used to do before he quote unquote made it, right? He would go around selling CDs. He would sell CDs of other artists. He sold some of his own CDs when they first started dropping. He used to sell them for like $1 to just anybody that would buy them and listen. So what did he do? He got tons and tons and tons of CDs made of this new album that came out on Friday and started driving around North Carolina and selling them in person, just random spots. And so yesterday he was like, he went to like Winston-Salem area, Chapel Hill. He was there at like UNC before the UNC Duke game, which if you know anything about North Carolina, UNC Duke is like one of the biggest rivalries in sports, period. He pulled up to Chapel Hill. He was selling CDs there, like, with people getting hyped up for the game and stuff. He went from there to North Carolina A&T, which is about an hour and a half from where I live. Went to the campus there, and they ended up having to like move to a whole different spot because there were so many people there that they were like blocking traffic basically, and people couldn't get around the city and stuff. So they had to go somewhere else because there were so many people. And I was going to go last night, but I realized I only have a half tank of gas and I don't have the money to fill up my tank right now. So I wouldn't have been able to go and get back without filling up. So all night last night, I was like, man, like, that was probably my chance to like see Cole or whatever, right? Well, today there was nothing of like, because all day yesterday he went to 3 places yesterday. They were tweeting out where he was gonna go next, so you could kind of like get there ahead of time and follow along or whatever. Today they didn't do anything. They didn't say anything. And I was like, man, like, there's no way that he only did that for one day and ended up going to like 3 cities, right? So then I check Instagram randomly this afternoon and see that he's in Charlotte. They didn't announce it because if they did, Charlotte's so big, there'd be thousands upon thousands of people that show up, and like it would have just been a disaster, right? So, and the whole purpose of this was to be kind of like a pop up thing anyway. So where he was is a little bit ways away from me because Charlotte has like the inner city part and then it expands out, right? So it took me about 30 minutes to get there. I honestly I didn't know if he was still there or not because by the time I saw it on Instagram and got there, it was about an hour later. So I was like, man, I don't even know if he's still here. But I saw a sign in the video, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just put in this address, see if I can get there on time. And so I get to like the corner of where this store is at. You couldn't see it from where I was, but I was like on the corner of it. And I was like, I saw some people on the street, and I was like, man, I don't like this. Could just be people waiting to get into like a restaurant or like something for a Super Bowl party or whatever. And so I got a little bit closer and it was more people. And I was like, okay, all right, hold on, man. That's like, this might be a thing. And I get to the light and there's the Civic and the 2 Sprinter vans with some of his like security and the CDs and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's still here. So then the next problem was, how am I going to get it somewhere to park? Because Charlotte is, it's like inner city, right? So it's like you got to pay to park everywhere, and you're going to get pulled. You're going to get a ticket if you just pull up on the street, whatever. So I'm like whipping around the corners, like trying to find somewhere to park and all this stuff, right? So about 15 minutes later, I pull down. Okay, let me say, I pulled into one lot and saw that it was a pay spot. So I was like, I can't afford to do that. So I left out of there, popped a right there, did a U-E, probably illegally, but who cares? I did a U-E and came back to the corner where he was at, and there was probably like 500 people on both sides of the street, bro. And so I'm like, okay, well, I see a lot of people coming from this like main street. Yo, John with the raid. What's up, John? Hope the stream went well, man. We're in the middle of a little story time. Hey, vibe check. Let's go, baby. Thank you for the raid, John. What's up, Jessa? Welcome in. If we could get a shout out to John, that'd be great. We in a little story time right now. W Raid indeed. Thank you for the shout out as well. Jack, what's good, bro? Jessa, hope you're doing well. How's the night, man? It's going, man. We this is gonna be like this is a little different vibe than usual for the stream. So I'm telling a story about something that happened today, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit serious stuff. So the vibes are a little bit different tonight, but it needs to happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's got to be that way. So what's up, Fractured? Welcome in, man. But John, thank you again for the raid, man. You're the best. Hope the stream went well, dude. So I need to take that timer off because we're not doing the crowd control. I got to remember to do that. Anyway, so you like story time? No matter what, it's always good vibes with Keys. I appreciate it, man. I mean, the thing is, like, tonight I'm gonna say some things that some people might not like, but I would rather, if they don't like it, I'd rather them not be here anyway. So we'll get to that in a minute. We're doing the good stuff first. I want to get this story out. So to provide a little context for those that just got here in the raid, I live in Charlotte. I'm a huge J. Cole fan. His album just dropped on Friday, and yesterday he started doing this thing where he was going around cities in Carolina selling the CDs out of his trunk like he used to do before he made it big. He was selling CDs for $1, just handing them out to people who would listen to him. And so he's doing that for this album. This is most likely his last album that he ever drops. And he's one of the most humble celebrities, like, of all time. So bro's literally going around North Carolina selling CDs out of the trunk of his Honda Civic that he used to have when he was, a teen, basically. So so I drove down to Charlotte, to that part of Charlotte, and so I saw where he was at, right? And I popped the UE to get back to where I could at least see like where the people were at, Jack, thank you for the alert, man. I appreciate it. So I see all these people like where they're coming from, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go that way and try to find somewhere to park quick enough to where I can hop out, try to go live, and then go see Cole. So this road that I'm going on is everywhere in Charlotte. Every street has street parking, right? So Cole was literally parked and doing autographs right next to the street. So I go down this road and there's people like walking across the street. So the 2 cars in front of me were stopped. So obviously I had to stop. I look over to my left, and J. Cole is probably 10 feet from my driver's side door. And it was like the craziest feeling of like, it's crazy that they didn't have him like on the other side of the sidewalk, like up against the building that was there. They had him on the street side of it, which to me was like hella dangerous, right? But they had him on the street side. So literally I look over, and it's not like he was like a little bit this way or a little bit that way. All I did was turn my head exactly how you would to look out the window, and J. Cole was standing right there. Tony Hawk Prostate, thank you for the follow again, brother. So he's standing right there, and there's a sea of people with CDs and vinyls and posters and shoes, like, you know, Nikes and like all kinds of stuff like that, just like trying to get to him, right? And on the other side of the road, there's probably another 100 or 200 people like with their phones like recording it, and like I'm just stopped in the middle of all of it because there were people like crossing the street and stuff, right? So for probably a good 20 or 25 seconds, I literally sat in the middle of the street because I couldn't move, and just J. Cole was right there. Absolutely insane. What's up, Johnny? Welcome in. So he was right there, and I was trying so hard, like the quickest place I could find to pull off and like park somewhere ended up being like 3 blocks down the street. So I got out, I parked,
Missed opportunity to rob him.
Okay, yeah, sure, Shadow. That's what I'm gonna do. Johnny, hope you're doing well, by the way. Thanks for tapping in. I'm telling the story of how I saw J. Cole today, and then we're gonna talk about some real stuff tonight. But yeah, so 3 blocks down is the first place that I could park, and I'm like, dang, dude, like I'm gonna have to freaking walk forever to get back there. Mind you, it's like 30 degrees and the wind was blowing, so it was frigid cold, like no sun around because you're in the middle of the city, right? So, I park. I took my gimbal. I had my mics, my new mics that I got for Christmas. Like I had everything ready to go live, and I was walking the 3 blocks, and I was like on the Twitch mobile app, changing the title like J. Cole's in Charlotte. Like I was setting everything up to go live. And in the matter of the probably 5 to 6 minutes that it took me to go find the parking place to walking back to where he was at, he had left. And the Sprinter van where they have like some of his team was still there. And so I was like, all right, well, like if they're still here, then like they're doing something, right? So like some of his team were still there selling CDs. But the Civic, which he was driving, was gone. And so they were still selling CDs, and they're like, yo, if you want to get in line and at least like buy a CD, you can do that or whatever. They were $1. I mean, he's literally selling them for $1. So I was like, okay, well, like I missed out on seeing him like up close in a chance of like, you know, getting to dap him up or like get an autograph or something, right? But I can at least get a CD, and like I got to see him technically, and I also got the experience of like getting to, be in the middle of all that and stuff. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna wait around and see how long this takes to be able to like get a CD at least. So I stood there for probably 15 minutes in this line, and one of the guys on his team was like, "Yo, we're like super sorry to say it, but like we're out of CDs." Um, the people that were like at the front of the line were getting the last like 5 or 6 as he was saying it. So there were probably another like 100 people that I was in line with that missed out on getting one. But we all kind of like stood around for a little bit, just kind of like, all right, well, is this like the only place he's going to be in Charlotte today? Because like Charlotte's such a big city, like, he could pull up to Spectrum Center and go where the Hornets play, because he is a co-owner of the Charlotte Hornets. He could pull up to the Panthers Stadium, like, he could go somewhere else in the city. So we were all kind of just standing around waiting for somebody to be like, yo, he's such and such, whatever. So in the time that like we were standing there, there was this girl that had been there for a while, and she was like, "Did you have to drive far to get here?" And I was like, "Kinda, whatever." And she was like, "Yeah, I ended up being able to meet him and stuff." And she got pictures with him and autographs and all this stuff, right? So she was like, when he got here, they were here for a while, but people found out so fast that he couldn't even physically get out of his car because people were swarming it so fast. So he couldn't even get out of his car when he first got there. And then the police came because obviously there was a ton of people and they didn't really know what was happening. So the police came and they were like, "Hey, you can't really like do this on the side of the street because it's a danger, blah, 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 blah." So Cole had actually, by the time I had seen it on Instagram and when I got there, he had left once and then circled the block and came back and like saw everybody else. So he had already left once. And when I was talking to this girl, I was like, okay, well, maybe since there was still some people that didn't get to see him, like maybe he'll come back a second time, because there was one police officer that had their car parked on the other side of the road, and they were pulling out. So I was like, okay, maybe there's a chance, right? Like maybe he's gonna swing back by and like try to catch a few more people before he goes to the next spot. Yo, W Icy with the crown, by the way. So I was like, man, maybe there's a chance. So I ended up waiting about 30 minutes more, and I talked to a couple other people that they were coming through, because like they saw me and I had my like gimbal in hand and stuff. I think some of them actually thought that I was with Cole, because I had the gimbal and stuff, and I had my mic on already, just in case I was able to go live. So I was like, all right. So people were like asking me like, yo, is he still here? Is he still here? And I'm like, nah, he left a few minutes ago or whatever, but we're waiting to see if he comes back. And so 30 minutes or so goes by. He didn't come back, and somebody said that they had heard that he was going to Greenville, South Carolina next, which is like right below the border of North Carolina, South Carolina. So I have not seen that he ended up going anywhere else in Charlotte. But I technically saw J. Cole about 10 feet away, which was cool. Like that was a really cool thing. It was kind of surreal to be like, wow, that's somebody that I've looked up to for a long time. I'm not a musician, I'm not a rapper, and I also didn't grow up going through the things that he raps about in his songs, but you can still relate in a lot of ways to a lot of what he talks about. especially like dreaming about where you want to go in life and stuff like that. So, um, I have like a dream of getting to talk to him one day and for 2 minutes, just say like, "Hey, thank you for everything," which I was hoping I would get to do today. There's no way that would have happened because of the people. Like, it was so many people. If you got a chance to take a picture with him, it was like literally like 1 or 2 seconds of interaction because there were so many people. So you wouldn't have been able to like say anything, but it was cool, man. It was definitely a rush of like seeing one of the greatest rappers of all time right there in front of you. Like that to me, that's like my Taylor Swift to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge deal. And the fact that he's on such a stardom level, but yet he's on the street driving a Honda Civic that's 20 some years old and selling CDs out of the trunk of his car to go and meet people that have supported him through the years. Like, that is the coolest thing I think a celebrity can do. Like, that is so freaking cool. Your dad ran into James Earl Jones in a motel parking lot. That's cool. That's really cool. I feel like if you're respectful to most celebs, like most people are pretty chill. Like as long as you don't freak out when you're around them, like if you just act like a normal person, most celebrities are pretty chill like that. So, um yeah, so that was cool. I didn't get to technically meet him or anything like that, but I saw him, and in the moment I was definitely bummed, but looking at it just even a few hours later, I'm like, okay, that's still pretty cool. Like I got to see J. Cole, and I'm hoping that when he does the tour for the new album, like I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm hoping I'll be able to get a ticket to go and just see him one time. Um, so yeah, that's story time for today. I was gonna go live, hang out while I was there, and just like stream the people around. Dude, the energy there was so cool. Should have clipped him with your car. Imagine telling Chad that story post making bail, dude. Yeah, yeah. Imagine like accidentally sideswiping his car while it's parked on one of the like street parking spots, just accidentally sideswiping it and being like, "Oh, dang it, bro. Let's trade insurance real quick." Nah. But um but no, it was cool, man. It was really cool, and yeah, let's trade insurance. Like let me get your number, bro. Um his poor Corolla. Dude, this dude's driving around like a 90 something Civic, bro. He put a new engine in it, and that thing is still running around the city like nothing, bro. It's awesome. But so now let's transition the story a little bit here. So, um this is where the transition of talking about some other stuff is going to be. So, I think a lot of stuff's been on my mind recently about just like how people treat each other this day and age, right? And I hope that like those that have been around my stream for a while and known me for a while, you know that I care about people and I want the best for people. I try to build people up more than the average person, right? Like I don't know hardly any of you guys other than just like the interaction that we have through stream or whatever, right? So I don't know you guys, but I want to be that kind of person where it's like, yeah, I may not have ever met you in person, but I know that's like a real true friend right there. Like that's what I want to be known for. So, it sucks this day and age that we live in where people are so against each other. over the smallest, simplest things, right? And it's been on my mind a lot. It seems like it just random things just get it kicked up where, people just go at each other for the sake of just going after each other. Like there's nothing serious that's said or anything. It's just a small like difference in opinion, and it's like just the craziest um back and forth between people. And I'm not I want to make this clear now. This is not directed to anybody here in chat. This, I know that there's been issues from time to time, but it's been like very minor compared to the stuff that I'm talking about that you see on social media, or just simple arguments that people have that turn into this like huge butting of heads that happens like this day and age, right? So just know this is none of what I'm about to say is directed to anybody here. Things that have happened in the past, that's been forgotten about, right? And so please just know this is not directed to anybody here. Some of the stuff that I say later is still not directed to anybody here, but y'all might not agree with it, and I don't really care. So, where I'm taking this is today, I'm not here. All right. Yeah, you should be asleep right now. So, where I'm going with all this is I was there in the middle of uptown Charlotte, which has tons of issues, right? There's crime that happens, there's murders that happen, there's crime that happens. And there's a huge political split in a lot of Charlotte. And I know it's that way everywhere, but it's just I see it more because I live here. So it's like I'm very much more aware of what happens here and things like that, right? But I was in the middle of, I would say roughly there were probably 500 plus or minus people there when I was there today seeing J. Cole, right? There were people of every race you could imagine. Charlotte is very diverse in, who lives here and things like that. And once I parked and I was kind of waiting around, I'm just looking around, and there's basically every race of people that you could imagine standing within a couple of 100 feet from each other, right? 500, 600 people. And everybody there was smiling, they were singing, they were laughing, dapping each other up. It didn't matter if you were white, black, Asian, Indian, like it didn't matter. Everybody there was having this 2-hour conversation with each other and just sharing it. Yeah, it was like a 1 or 2 hour thing, but it felt like one big moment for each other, right? And I was standing there thinking, like, it's so sad and it's very eye-opening to think that it takes a J. Cole to show up or a certain event to happen to bring all of these people together and everybody just be happy to be present with one another. Because those same people in daily life, they might have complete differences on everything in life, religion, like, you know, how politics and government and like all things should be ran. Like they could be literally on complete opposite sides of things, right? But in that moment, it didn't matter. Like it did not matter. And I don't know why the world has gotten to the point where it takes something like that to happen for us to put aside differences and just be human beings with one another. Like we were put on this planet to live and to be with each other, right? We get one opportunity to do this thing, right? And I don't understand why people go through life miserable. They don't realize it. Most of them don't realize it, that they're miserable, because they're so wrapped up in their thoughts, and like if one thing isn't the way that they think it should be, then they just like it really honestly didn't used to be this way. It kind of happened very recently where people, one little thing that people can see or say sets them off, and because like there's one difference in how somebody thinks or acts than this one person, then they go off and say that person's they should be kicked out of the country, they should this, they should that. It's one difference, bro. It's one difference. Not everybody was born to be this, like there every since the beginning of time there's been differences in how people act and how people think things should be done, right? And like I understand you're very passionate about like you should believe what you believe, and you should believe it 100%, and you should defend it to a degree. But then when you start to like constantly be absorbed by the other people, like they have differences of opinion than you and things like that, then your whole life is basically attacking the other side. That does nothing to help the stuff that you believe in yourself. Nothing. And if you're trying to convince somebody else to think the way that you think, the way that most people act these days is going to turn them away so far and so fast that they will never, ever even consider changing their thoughts or opinions because of the way people act these days, bro. I got home. Also, Shallow and One Way Soldier, what's good? I'm hey, I'm fired up tonight. So I'm sorry this is different than normal, but I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Jack, thank you for the hydrate. I probably needed that. So I got home and on the way, all the way home, I was thinking about that hour or so that I was there in that like environment, you know? What's good, Danny? What's good, Pete? Talking skates versus scoots. Yeah, basically, yeah. Hope you guys are well though. Oh, I'm getting fired up now. Okay. So I was in that environment for such a short time, but it felt so refreshing to be in a place where everybody looked at each other equally. People had such differences. I'm a straight born again Christian white dude in the middle of uptown Charlotte with people that are completely different than me. And in so many other environments and situations, the amount of different kind of people that were there would have, I mean, because you can see it, bro. It's if you say that you can't see that there is still so much hate in people, then you're just not paying any attention, because you can go to the grocery store and see all kinds of different people, and you can see the judgment, the hatred towards each other. Like, you can see it, man. But then bro, why are we playing, guys? All right, I'm just gonna pause the music if we're doing that. You can see it everywhere, right? But then you go today and you're in the environment that I was in today, and there's, like I said, there's every race, there's every, I mean, obviously, I don't know, because you can't talk to every single person there, but there's probably every belief out there. There's probably every political stance out there. Any kind of controversial thing that people can do these days, there was probably every single circumstance in that group of people. And it didn't matter, dude. We were all there seeing Jermaine Cole because his music has had an impact on every single one of our lives. And that's the craziest thing, is like, those people that spend their lives these days arguing about differences in life probably have so many things in common with one another that could bring them together ultimately, where we could just get along. But because there's like this one difference in opinion, people take that one thing and just start trashing them as a human being. And so I get home right as the Super Bowl kicked off, right? Which, by the way, is it over? I don't even know. I had it up. I'm assuming the Seahawks. Yeah, the Seahawks won. Congratulations, Seahawks. Shout out to Jay and Dilly. I know they're stoked right now. Shout out to Sam Darnold too. He was our quarterback here in Carolina for a while. So, yeah, Steak, I 100% agree about skateboarding, dude. Skateboarding is the most beautiful one. It's the most beautiful sport for sure. But I completely agree that it takes away all of those things. It really truly does. I'm glad you brought that up too. But so I come home, I see the kickoff to the Super Bowl, and I hadn't ate all day because I got home from church and I worked on a couple things, and then I saw that he was in Charlotte, so I dropped and went down there, and so I got home and I was like, all right, well, I got to eat something. I was planning to stream, obviously, and so I sat down, I had my food, I was watching the game, and I opened Twitter, and I was like, let me see, what the pregame Super Bowl stuff. I know Green Day was having a concert, so I was trying to find some clips of that. I wanted to see Green Day, right? And all that I could see about the Super Bowl, you honestly wouldn't even know that there was football involved with the Super Bowl, because all people could talk about was the halftime show and Bad Bunny being the performer for the halftime show. Now, I'll be the first to say this. I have no reason to like or dislike Bad Bunny because I'm sure I've heard his music at times just listening to radio or listening to like Spotify, just playing random playlists. Like, I'm sure I've heard some of his music at some point, but I couldn't just straight up tell you like, oh, that's Bad Bunny. Not something that, not the kind of music that I typically listen to. That's fault of my own, right? This past year, 2025, I tried to expand and listen to music like of different countries because I always had a hard time with music. Like, I needed to hear and understand the lyrics to be able to listen to it, right? Like, a full song in a different language was very hard for me to listen to because I'm like, I don't know what's, the music might be great, but the lyrics and stuff like that, like, I don't know what the frick they're saying, so I couldn't lock in and listen to it. So that's one thing this past year that I tried to do better of just like listening to, different music and stuff and opening up to like different cultures, like as far as music goes and stuff. And somehow, even though he's like the biggest international star ever, I guess, I still like couldn't tell you any of Bad Bunny's music. So I go into today completely neutral. I have no idea if I like this guy or if I don't like this guy. But I go on social media and it was Twitter, it was Instagram, it was everything. Where, like I said, you wouldn't even know that there was a freaking football game being played today because all people could talk about was Bad Bunny is going to be on the halftime show and I'm not watching because of this, or I am watching because of that. And it was constant. Just the nastiest comments you could say about people, of whether or not they were, if they were saying I can't wait for the halftime show, then there was one side telling them the nastiest comments and stuff like that because they were supportive of it. And then if there were people saying that they weren't going to watch it because they don't like Bad Bunny, then there was comments saying from the other side why they were the worst person in the world and the whole existence because they weren't going to watch it. Like, I mean, dude, we live in a day and age where you see this stuff every single day for everything. But today was like insane. I don't know anything about this guy, okay? He could be a great dude or he could be a terrible person. I don't know. And guess what? I guarantee you 95% of the people that were saying the things that they were saying today don't know anything about him either. They see one article that could be written by AI and they take it as gospel truth. Oh, this dude's a reptilian clone that the Illuminati made to push an agenda. Like, huh? And then there's other people saying this dude is like he was going to go on there and he was going to talk about like Christianity and like how he's a believer in God and like all this stuff. How do you have these two complete polar opposite things and nobody knows the truth about any of it, but they read one article or they hear one clip and they're like, oh, I hate this dude so much. He's Satan's spawn, or they treat him as like a god or something like that, So I immediately was like, okay, I'm getting off of social media until the Super Bowl is over, because I can't, you know? So what do? As I'm eating, I turn on a stream that's doing a watch party of the Super Bowl, because I wanted, some of my freaking agents doing it, and a couple other people are having like a watch party. And so I'm like, all right, well, like, it'll be cool because, I'm here by myself. I'm not at a Super Bowl party, so at least I can feel like I'm, hanging out with somebody, right? So I turn on that, and guess what? The comments are exactly what social media was. It was terrible comments about Bad Bunny and anybody who supported or didn't support him. And the streamers, you could see, even Agent, who's like very adaptive to energy and stuff and tries to make it a positive place, like, you could see him like kind of squirming in his chair as he would, look over to chat. He would look over and see people saying stuff, and you could tell like he's uncomfortable. It's awkward. Y'all putting these people in an awkward spot because you can't even sit there and watch the freaking game because people are saying all this stuff, bro. Like, again, I know that people are going to have their differences in life, right? That is how the world has been forever, and it's going to be that way forever. But there is so, like, 75%, I'm just going to put a rough estimate on it, 75% of the hate that's out there is completely unnecessary, and it's formed by these kinds of people, right? That spend their every single day just miserable in life and taking it out on people who have a different opinion than they do. And it was such a oh it was such a range of emotion from all of this happened today in a 2-hour window. Keep that in mind. A 2-hour window where I was on the verge of tears in a happy way when I left Charlotte this afternoon, being surrounded by so many people that were different than me. Because, again, I'll say it again. I'm a white dude. I'm a born-again Christian white dude that was in the middle of a crowd of people to see Jermaine Cole. And there were people there that I'm sure they've had a rough past, man. And there's people there from so many countries and so many backgrounds. But it didn't matter. None of that mattered. Everybody was there because there was a single, sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a thing, sometimes it's a belief, whatever. There's one unifying thing in all of those people. Today it just so happened to be J. Cole. But every single person was there for that, and nothing else mattered. It didn't matter about backgrounds and where you came from and what you've done in your life and what you believe in or what side you're on, right? People are just there because this person had an impact on their life just like the other 599 people that were there. And I was on the verge of crying on the way home, which is very difficult for me to do. Like I've been through so much that it takes a lot for me to get worked up enough to cry, man. But it was the most beautiful feeling that I've felt in a long time of just seeing those people together, smiling, laughing, singing, dancing. And then I come home and it's instantly a reminder that that stuff is so rare these days, because you get home to see everybody divided on a freaking football game's halftime show. And this person says, I'm gonna watch Bad Bunny. And then this person says, no, I'm gonna watch Kid Rock. And there's 100 people in each one of those tweets or posts or whatever. There's 100 people in the one saying, I'm watching Bad Bunny. It's 100 people in the one saying, I'm watching Kid Rock. Saying the most disgusting stuff that you can say about people. And why is that? Like, I try to avoid seeing that stuff as much as possible because it depresses me. And so maybe I'm not quite as like used to it, I guess, is the way to put it. I don't know what the correct word is to say. Maybe I'm not as used to it as it seems like most people are these days. But seeing it today and how severe it was, like, genuinely, I don't have a word for it. We're always going to have differences, right? But at least in the past, sometimes people could just have a conversation. And at the end of that conversation, you might have more like disagreements than you came into the conversation with, but at the end of it, it ended with a handshake, it ended with a hug, and you went on about your business. But today, nobody can do that anymore. And it's really, really, really sad. And maybe it's just hitting me harder because I did have that hour today where I was with people that, like, all of the world's problems were just gone for like an hour and then instantly got tossed into it as soon as I got back. But, like, man, we gotta be better, dude. We have to be better. And that's why, you know, I try to be the best person that I can be to whoever taps into the stream and hangs out. Like, I might not ever see you in person, but like at least when people tap into the stream, they're like, that's a real one right there, you know? Cause man, they're getting fewer and farther between these days. And the last little thing I'll say on that is there's a lot of fake people that are in your life too. And they're probably a lot closer than you think they are. So just always be aware of who your real true friends are, because people will turn on you in an instant. I know I've missed tons of chat, so I apologize for that. Panda, what's good, man? Hope you're well. Your Lord, what's good? I was watching a live stream for halftime. The comments were just full of racism. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, some people were literally, just because the dude's not from America, saying that, like, it could be something as simple as this is the worst halftime show of all time, or, you know, something disgustingly horrible that they would say, just because he's, I believe, from Puerto Rico. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. Like I said, I don't know anything about him, which is a fault of my own, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah. Us Latinos get no love. Shadow, bro, you know we love you, bro. You know everybody here, I put away weird internet people for like 10 seconds and let me just say this. I love you guys, man. Not in a weird way, not in like a whatever internet stupidity there is that people take it out of context. Like, as a human being, I love you guys, bro. I love everybody. And that's why when I was in that moment today, I was just so like, dude, if we could just live like this, bro. If we could just live like this. Man. It's because most people think nobility is being greater than your fellow man, when true nobility is really being greater than your former self. Nah, I mean, that's facts. That is facts. W comms, indeed. One thing to remember is that bots rule half the internet now. I mean, that's very true. That is very true. I'm sure a large majority of what was being said were bots, but I mean, I've seen it, you know, with people that I know, and it's just it's sad, man. It's sad. Donut, what's good? I hope you're doing good. A lot of these convos be about if people are animals or not, though. It's not a very civil convo to start with. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's so many things I could say, bro. If I may offer a word of encouragement, social media, Twitter, YouTube included, isn't real. News, social media, political companies have figured out that dividing people and making them scared of each other is the best way to sell their product and weaponize each other against one another. So gross to think about, and watching it happen is never fun, but the more time I spend away from it, the more I realize that life is better offline. No, I mean, like, I completely agree with that. And I'm glad you said that, because I don't watch the news. I don't follow any news stuff on social media. Like, whether it be like national Fox News, CNN, whatever, whatever it is. I don't follow any local news stuff, whether it be like local affiliate with NBC or CBS or ABC or Fox or whatever, right? Like I don't follow anything like that, because it's ingrained in all that stuff now, right? Where they're trying to get you to think a certain way, and they'll, one side will do an article about one thing that's worded a particular way, and then the other side, it'll be worded a different way, and none of it is actually true. It's just like, so like I don't follow news stuff, and I don't oftentimes go into comment sections. Like I used to because I used to let this stuff bother me. But then I realized, like, I was going to exactly what you're saying. Like, the more you get away from it, the happier you are. And that's how I usually am. Today, I was just simply trying to go on, like, the NFL Twitter page and be like, yo, okay, let me see, like, red carpet, who's at the Super Bowl, and, like, try to see some clips of the Green Day concert or something like that, And so I'm, like, scrolling through mentions of NFL or, like, whatever. And that's, again, you wouldn't have even known they were playing a football game today because of all the stuff. So I've been saying all this not as in like I was actively searching it out. Like I was going into this completely innocent of like, yo, because I'm a big football fan, right? So of course I'm hyped for the Super Bowl, right? So I'm tapped in like, okay, friggin' Drake May starting for the Patriots quarterback today. Like he was born 15 minutes from me. So it's like, okay, dope. Like, let's support Drake May. Let's support Jay and Dilly with the Seahawks. You know what I mean? So it's like I wasn't even going out there looking for this stuff, And I never do anymore. Cause like I said, man, I used to, and I would be mad every day. And I'd be like, man, I got to send this tweet, because if I don't, like, acting like I'm going to change something with my 200 followers, or something like that, right? I got away from that stuff, bro. And when I did, my gosh, did I get happier. Like, the people that are actively choosing to live their lives and seek this stuff, and to constantly just be like going through comments and like, oh, that one disagrees, keyboard warrior, here I go. You know what I mean? Like, people freaking live their lives doing that stuff, dude. And it's just it's so whack, man. It's lame, dude. Like, if you living like that, bro, like, it's time to wake up, gang. You're not going to get anything done that way. You can absolutely defend yourself and defend your beliefs and opinions and stuff to a degree. But man, when you start going after talking about how people are as a person and stuff like that, gang, like, it's time to take a step back, man. Look in the mirror, bro, because you acting what you're saying about them and all this stuff, like, you're being the perfect example of it for a lot of people when they saying stuff like that. Costs nothing more than kindness to give kindness. Yeah, I mean, dude, I literally, that's what I try to live my life on, man. Like, even when stuff happens in stream where something is said in chat, and there's been I mean, think about what happened a couple weeks ago with that idiot that came in chat and was like, um, causing all the stuff. Like, I could tell that it was about to become an issue, but I was trying to be kind, and like I try to be like that's what when I go live and when people tap into the stream, whether you're here all the time or it's your first time here, like whatever, like I want people to be like, wow, this dude is legit. Like he's genuine. He's being kind. You can tell that he cares about people and just a good person. Like that's what I set out to be, because guess what? It's a whole lot easier to be this way than it is like constantly in fights and arguments all the time, dude. Like it's so easy to just be nice. You don't even have to try. Sometimes you do, but most of the time you don't, bro. It's just like it's just there. Like you can just be kind, The thing is, Bad Bunny is American. It's not even that they're mad about. It's just racism. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Johnny, for like letting me know. Because again, I feel bad that I'm talking about some of this stuff and like I don't even know details about him, right? So I feel bad that I don't fully know the situation or whatever. So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't know anything about him. So that's on me, but yeah, I mean it's like what I said earlier. It's like they so I even basically to the word in some of the Twitch streams that I was watching during the halftime show, it was like, I can't understand what this guy is saying. Why is he doing the halftime show? Like, like, oh man. So yeah, that's on me for not knowing that he is American, but there's so many people that just, yeah. Even in comments on posts that aren't even about politics, truly how bad it, yeah, Icy. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that too, because there's one stream that I've been watching since I got home with the Super Bowl, well before the halftime show, and this particular streamer is a sports streamer, so all he talks about for the most part is sports. And he made it very clear from the beginning, like, yo, nothing about this is political because I'm watching the broadcast. That doesn't mean that like I'm just here to watch the football game. But then like the entire stream, the comments were nothing but like this political. And he's like, bro, this is an NFL football game. He's like, yo, I played college football. I worked on staff. Like football is his life, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like he's there to give insight that normal people might not fully grasp about what's going on in the game and stuff, But yet people couldn't help themselves to just make it political. And it's just like man. They'll insert it anywhere, dude. When it's not appropriate or like anything. Sorry, I know I'm like behind on chat. A world divided breaks down the easiest, yet nobody can stop themselves from having their opinion and bias, even if it divides them farther. Yeah, I mean 100%. Like again, I'm trying to make it clear, like there's absolutely nothing wrong with talking about what your opinions are and your beliefs are and how you go about life and all this stuff, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's how we're supposed to be. But then like you have to know where the limit is on that. And when you start belittling people and doing all this. And I know some people are just disgusting human beings, and they deserve to
vibe check.
They deserve. Okay, I don't know why we're doing a vibe check right now. They deserve to be called out on some things and stuff like that. But like, so many times it's just not necessary. It's really sad. Carly, what's up? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. You did miss the Cole story. I can retell it though. I can definitely retell it if people want to hear the Cole story. What's good, Gabe? To be fair, I speak Spanish and can't understand what he's saying. I mean, I did see some people saying that too. Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. But like, yeah, I mean, just this was just what I saw most of today. It wasn't like, it was just racially charged. It was just racially charged. It didn't matter if they could understand it or not. They just know this guy looks different than me, and it's just flat out how it was. Like, but it's not just today. I mean, it happens in every situation, every single day now, which is why I felt like it was necessary to talk about it, because I don't want that here. And I can tell you now, like, if it hasn't happened, thankfully, like, we haven't ever had any issues like that in my chat. But I don't care how long you've been around. I don't care how close we are, how much you supported me, anything like that, bro. If that stuff gets into my chat, you're gone. And I don't care. Like, this is going to be a safe place for everybody. We can have our differences and we can talk about it in a healthy way, but when people start like bringing that stuff into it, like, nah, you're gone. Glitter, I'm sure you're gone by now, but thank you for tapping in and hanging out. Hope you're able to get some sleep. Dilly, congrats on the Super Bowl, man. You're welcome, by the way. I verbally said on stream that I was pulling for the Patriots because every single team that I verbally said I was hoping would win in the playoffs ended up losing. So to reverse psychology things, I said on stream, I hope the Patriots win. And I actually really truly meant that I hope the Seahawks win for you guys. Any other year I would have been I wouldn't say that because they're pretty big rival to us, but I wanted them to win for you guys. So I verbally said I want the Patriots to win. And what happens? The Seahawks win the Super Bowl. So you're welcome. I expect my check from Seattle in the mail next week. And I'll be going to Disney World. Or people on some BS about Bad Bunny. He literally already played the Super Bowl in 2020 with, yeah. Oh yeah. Carly, don't go look it up. It's bad. It's really bad. It is not worth looking it up. Trust. Got a bell, brother. Keep your head up, man. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I appreciate it. Nah, I mean, like, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I just was very, like, upset, and I knew I was going to be streaming tonight. So I was just like, tonight, we're just going to talk about some stuff, But I'm good. Like, it's very frustrating, 100%. But yeah, like, I'm chilling. I'm good. Crazy how simply being different is considered political and how accepting different is considered political. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy how, like, I think Icy might have said it, like, everything is politically charged these days, even when it's like nothing about it is political whatsoever. But yet somehow people find a way to make it political these days. Like, it's crazy the reaches that people will go to make it that way, you know? And like, I feel like that's so much of where the frustration from both sides come from, right? Is like, you can be talking about today it's a football game, and tomorrow it can be, you know, it can be anything, and people will just turn it political for no reason. And it's really sad. I'm gonna head to bed. It's already 5 again. All right, Katie. Yes, go to bed. Get some sleep. Have a wonderful night. What's up, Jay? Congrats, man. Congratulations, dude. Pat's got enough. If we had 6, I wouldn't be tripping. Hey, I hope you got Dilly, are you off work tomorrow? I hope you can like stay up and freaking celebrate tonight. Have some fun, man. Bad Bunny for the next PSL halftime show. Yeah, we should talk a little PSL tonight too. Cuz I originally was going to do like a react stream tonight. And then because I didn't stream yesterday, I thought about doing Halo tonight, but then all this stuff happened. I was like, yo, we just going to chat tonight. But we can talk about a little PSL for sure. Get enough sleep, and you're the best, the absolute best of the best. Okay, Katie, you're delusional. Go to sleep. You are sleep deprived. You are lying. You are lying. I am, don't worry. Oh, you do have the day off? Dude, that's sick, man. Congrats, dude. Shout out to the Panthers, man. Without the Panthers, somehow, some way, Sam Darnold wouldn't have ended up in Seattle. I don't know how that makes any sense, but I'm just going to claim it. Because, my gosh, the Panthers need something positive to happen. But, yeah, man. I know we don't talk super, super serious and have conversations like this a lot of times. Again, mainly because I want this to be an escape from all that stuff, right?
Can I get a waffle?
Can
I please get a waffle?
I got you on the hat. We're so like consumed by it, or surrounded by it all the time. So when I go live, I want people to know for that 2 to 4 hour period that I'm streaming, like, you're getting away from that, right? Like, no judgment, it's just chill place to come hang out and hopefully get some laughs and be around cool people, right? But sometimes stuff needs to be talked about, like tonight, and I know it doesn't always make for a fun stream, but I just thought that some of that needed to be said, man. And again, like I said at the start, if people find it, if you disagree with me, we can talk about it off stream. You can message me, you can do whatever, but if any of that type of stuff starts to creep in the chat, like, it ain't gonna fly here. So I learned now, though. Gotta eat. Just got back from watching the show. All right, bet. Yeah, thank you, Carly, for hanging out. And if you come back at some point,
I'm the trash man.
Yo, what's up, Trash? If you come back at some point, I will retell the Cole story. If not, obviously the VOD will be available. So, Jax, what's good? Hope you're doing well today. Keys is for the people. I mean, I definitely want to be, man. I really do. Like, I want people to know that this is a a place that they can come and hang out and just be.
Yeah, I disagree with everything you just said. Him out.
All right, well, see ya. Yeah, I just like I definitely want people to just know that there's always going to be differences, right? But you can talk about them in a healthy way, and I'm good with that. Like, if I ever say anything that you disagree with, we can talk about it, and it's going to be a very civil, respectful conversation. Keys for Prezi next election. Would you vote for this guy? Ooh, would you vote for this guy? I'd have to wear this every day in office. Waffle House hat. But no, thank you guys for letting me talk about that, and just hopefully hopefully my points came across clear, and at the end of the day, the whole thing comes down to just like treat each other like human beings, dude. Treat each other with love, man. Even if you have disagreements, dude, love is the more love you have, bro. It's all about love at the end of the day. Vote Keys to run the USA. Hey, I'll be honest. Like, if I became Prezi, this would be my vice VP. Right, this be my VP right here. Keys for Waffle House president. I would rather be Waffle House president than president of the United States. That's for sure. What up, Rooster? Love is the best thing we have. Facts. Facts. Bro tapped into the stream, and the first message he sends is nothing but facts. Rooster, how you doing today, man? What did I miss? Oh, you missed a lot, brother. A lot. I ain't even gonna lie. You probably, you might not care enough to, which I wouldn't blame you, but if you do care enough, then I would suggest just watching the VOD, man. The VOD's gonna be the best way to get a recap on the stuff we talked about tonight. I'd even settle for Keys manager at Waffle House in Charlotte. Hey, yo, I can't lie, man. That would be kind of lit. Cole was at Bojangles in Greensboro last night, just chilling, talking to the staff. Shout out Bojangles, man. I'm sad my sub badge disappeared. Hey, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I mean, hey, we went from 300 and something subs yesterday to 34 today. So, your boy, hey, I'm hurting too. Like my, I'm bills are gonna be questionable next month. Cause that ain't gonna be enough. But hey, I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll figure it out. We been chatting all stream. It's peak. I hope so, man. Like I said, I know this isn't what we normally do, but I hope you guys appreciated the chat and stuff. You know, lot of stuff kind of that I talked about is like built up for a long time, but then today when the stuff happened today in like a 2-hour period, it was just like such a crash of emotions, and I was so fired up, bro. Like, I posted that thing in Discord, and I was like, hey, we gonna be on one tonight. So Bo Dangles mentioned, yeah. Shout out to Bo Dangles, man. I hadn't had Bo Dangles in a minute. Anytime y'all ever in NC, bro, we gonna pull up to the Bo Dangles. Yeah. What do you guys have any comments about what I talked about? Anything like agree, disagree, like anything that I might be misinformed on, whatever. Yo, Icy with the 5,000 bits.
Just cheered 5,000 bits.
Oh my gosh, Icy. Yo. That is crazy. Icy, thank you so much for the 5,000 bits. That is crazy. That might be... That's definitely in the top, like, 2 or 3 of the most that I've ever gotten at one time. That is insane. That's crazy. Icy, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that helps. Every single penny that I make on the stream goes straight into helping me pay my bills every month, because obviously I don't have a job. So Icy jumping up top 3 in cheers. We love to see it. No shot. Top 3? Oh yeah, top 3. Yo, that's crazy. W Icy. Top 3 in cheers. Or sorry, in bits. Yo, I got a funny idea for a bit emote, like the top. I think people get them by like however many you donate total, you start to unlock bit emotes that only those people get. I have a funny idea for that. I need to try and do it by like tomorrow or something like that, so that the people that have those can actually like use them and stuff. That's funny. That's really good. But yeah, Icy, thank you so much, dude. That's insane. Let me turn that timer off. I meant to do that before I went live, but I was obviously charged up and didn't think about it, but I can turn it off right now. It is off. It is off. But yeah, chat, thank you guys for, like, you know, I don't know if you got anything out of the stuff I said. Probably not. But thank you for at least letting me, you know, talk about what I was feeling and stuff this afternoon. I do appreciate it. It's cool to have a platform to be able to do that. I'm very, very thankful for, you know, having streaming and just, because honestly, if I didn't have stream to freaking talk about this stuff, like, I would have spent the entire night just mad and frustrated, you know?